What unhinged things have happened to you on dates? Can we just admit that dating apps are exhausting beyond belief? They were supposed to make things easier, but holy mashed potatoes, the chaos is unreal. And the struggle looks totally different depending on your gender. For guys, online dating is basically like doing stand-up comedy. You prep your best photos, your cleverest lines, your funniest stories, and instead of being booed off stage or getting tomatoes thrown at you, you just get dead silence over and over again. And the kicker? You're not doing all this to impress some Hollywood model. You're just hoping the girl next door will even acknowledge you exist. It's like those LinkedIn posts where people complain about going through 5 rounds of interviews only to get an offer that doesn't even pay Google money. For women, online dating is like strolling through a giant bazaar in Istanbul. Dozens of guys whistle, wave, and insist they've got the best drugs. Some offer you tea, others try to impress with Bollywood songs, Hollywood serenades, or random K-pop dance routines. Sure, browsing can be fun at first, but eventually you get tired of swatting away pushy merchants. The difference is, at a bazaar, you can leave after a couple of hours. Dating apps, they just keep buzzing 24/7, pulling you back into the noise. Conversations become worthless. A guy might be thrilled to get 1 match a week, even if she ghosts him. Meanwhile, a girl can open the app, see 30 new matches in 4 hours, and swipe them all away without a second thought. It's like picky recruiters on LinkedIn who get 500 applications and still complain they can't find the right candidate. I went on a date with the most superficial guy I've ever met. Honestly, it was exhausting, and I just want to vent. He's 37, about 10 years older than me, attractive, financially successful, but the entire 2-hour date was just hollow. He kept complaining about dating apps in our southern city, saying girls here aren't in good shape and that there are too many single moms. Several times, he made it clear he simply didn't find women his age attractive. About 40 times, he mentioned his salary, and his car, and the house he wanted to buy, and the house he already bought. I felt like I was trapped in a cartoon. At one point, he bragged about managing a hedge fund in his old apartment in a European city. There were books everywhere, but he never read them, just there to impress people, then tossed when he moved. Inside, nothing. Zero appreciation for beauty, art, love, nothing. His only goal seemed to be finding the smartest, prettiest woman under 30 who would date her. That's it. Ladies, I see your dating rants all the time, and trust me, being single is better than being with someone like this. Don't let looks or money fool you. If the person is hollow inside, it doesn't matter how shiny they look on the outside. I went on a date recently that completely blew my mind, but not in the usual let's rush to the bedroom way. We met in his city. I live in the suburbs. He picked a park for our meetup. To see how the evening might go, I asked if he lived nearby. He said, nope, it's a 30-minute bike ride from here. He laid out a blanket, brought some wine, and we just sat and talked. We ordered food straight to the park and continued chatting about random stuff. His eye contact was intense, and I could tell he was fully present. If he had tried to kiss me, I probably wouldn't have said no, but he didn't. We walked around the city, laughed a lot, and I felt this strange sense of comfort and closeness with him, especially for a second date. We found a bench by a lake and kept talking. He'd put his hand lightly on my back or trace my shoulder or arm with his fingers occasionally, but never pushed or forced anything. When it was time for me to call an Uber, he walked me to the spot, waited with me, hugged me tightly, kissed my forehead, and thanked me for coming. I never thought a guy could impress me so much by almost not doing anything. Yet the evening felt perfect. I went home thrilled that he genuinely wanted to spend time and talk, not just rush me to bed. Although, I'm kinda hoping for a little more action on date number 3, LOL. So I went on a date with this incredibly beautiful girl from another department. I had admired her from afar, cracked a few silly jokes she giggled at, and finally worked up the courage to ask her out. At first, we really didn't have much to talk about. Quick chats about work, family, and pets ran out fast. I tried books. She doesn't read. TV shows, barely watches. Favorite movie? Doesn't care about cinema. Walking, camping, fishing? Best childhood memory? Probably time with her grandma. Best friend? She doesn't really have one. School? She was a cheerleader. Sports? We ate, laughed awkwardly, and honestly, it felt like the date was dead in the water. Then we walked to our car, and out of nowhere, she grabbed me and basically shoved her tongue down my throat, and then said, we should do this again sometime. I just nodded, waved, and walked away thinking, wait, that was fun for her? Seriously? She's 28 and has no interesting topics to discuss? I'm not into casual dating just for fun. Every emotional connection matters to me. I don't want to sleep with random people or break hearts. I get the advice, don't waste your youth, have fun, but I'd rather have a few meaningful, long-term relationships or just be single than chase fleeting thrills. Oh boy, this one is a nightmare. I matched with a guy on Tinder, 28 years old, charming, cute, a couple years older than me. Seemed perfect at first, but a few messages in I started feeling weird vibes. He complimented me like this: "I like your style, it's quite sophisticated. Most girls today plaster on a ton of makeup." Sounds harmless, right? But then I decided to Google his name before replying. He included his full name and his IG handle, so I quickly found his Twitter, and oh my gosh, this guy wasn't just a keyboard warrior, he was a full-blown cyberbully. He targeted women on Twitter, commenting on their selfies, insulting their makeup, and putting down their looks. And these women? Totally normal, cute girls. His nastiness was on another level. If someone pushed back, he'd say insane things like, "Go fetch a rope and soap." Most of his tweets were about shaming women. One girl told him to back off, and he replied with something along the lines of, "Girls like you must have grown up with abusive dad." I even reported his account. I don't understand how it's still active with that level of aggression, but the worst part? When I searched his name, I found messages from other women saying he harassed them in real life too. What the heck? Moral of the story, check people before meeting them. Some can be total sociopaths. Not the wildest, but honestly one of the most meaningful dating moments I've had. On New Year's Eve, a girl I'd just recently started seeing came over. We planned to eat, drink, and ring in the new year together. Things started heading toward physical closeness, so I suggested moving to the bedroom. She hit me with a firm no. I was caught off guard. We'd already been intimate before. She looked upset and apologized, saying it was just those days. I accidentally laughed, which confused her even more. I quickly explained I wasn't laughing at her, I was laughing at the fact she felt the need to apologize at all. There was absolutely nothing to be sorry for. I told her I'd be perfectly happy just kissing her at midnight and waking up next to her in the morning. She'd never stayed the night before, so I offered her extra pillows, a heating pad, even to run out and grab some painkillers, whatever she needed to be comfortable. The way she looked at me, surprised, grateful, almost teary-eyed, was honestly unforgettable. What started as a regular dinner date turned into a real conversation about what we wanted from the relationship. The next morning, I woke up next to my new girlfriend. Pretty great way to kick off 2022. Always assume that the person you're dating is seeing others unless you've explicitly agreed otherwise. Right now, I'm a total mess. I'm 24, he's 22. We met on a dating app about 3 months ago. Pretty quickly, we started seeing each other a few times a week, and on the days we didn't meet, we played online games together from home and occasionally texted. I got used to his presence in my life and started truly falling for him. He brought me flowers, took me stargazing, called me baby. Everything straight out of a rom-com. On our last date, he took me to a nice outdoor restaurant. About halfway through dinner, I noticed a hickey on his neck, about the size of a quarter. My head spun. We hadn't seen each other in a few days, and I knew for sure it wasn't for me. At first, he denied it, but quickly confessed. He had gone on a couple of dates with another girl, and they got a little too kissy. I burst into tears. It felt like a truck ran over me. He said he assumed I was seeing others too because I live alone and we met on an app. I told him I hadn't been seeing anyone else, I simply didn't want to. I was so into him that no one else mattered. I thought he felt the same. We went back to my place and I felt that he was genuinely sorry, but he also listed a few reasons he thought we wouldn't be right together, including some comments about my personality I hadn't even noticed. Please protect yourself from situations like this and a broken heart. If you want something serious in a relationship, say it. Even if it ends things, it's far less painful than what I went through. Edit. For those saying I'm at fault for not discussing the relationship status, I get it. I think the blame is mutual. His for misleading me, mine for assuming his intentions. If someone had told me that downloading Tinder would lead to me filling a bathtub for a man and checking him for a mystery lump, I would have laughed my socks off. But yep, that was probably the strangest date of my life. It wasn't the first weird date I've had, but definitely up there. He's 44, I'm 31. We were supposed to meet at a coffee shop because we both needed to work. A few hours later, as we were getting ready to leave, he suddenly confesses that he got injured earlier that day. And guess what? He could barely walk. I'm 172 centimeters, athletic, so I can help. He's not exactly a mountain from Game of Thrones, more like a scrawny rabbit. I helped him get to his car, but it was clear he wasn't doing great. I offered to cook him dinner at my place since I had some marinating chicken, and he agreed. Now, I live in a 3-story townhouse with a ton of stairs. I'm a bit clumsy myself, so my place is stocked with elastic bandages, crutches, and other safety gear. I got him settled on the couch, brought him water, a heating pad, a little sneeze pillow, and crutches so he wouldn't strain himself while standing. Then I started cooking. And then he goes, "I swear I'm not trying to show you my doodle, but you might want to look at this." And that's when I saw a strange lump near his, lower area. Definitely beyond a regular strain, possibly a hernia. I suggested a doctor, but he refused. Instead, he asked me to wrap it with a compression bandage. Then he mentioned a warm bath might help. So I ran the bath for him, sat nearby the whole time, and even threw in a sparkling bath bomb and a glass of wine, just for the sheer absurdity. Yeah, I was basically giving a grown man whom I met on Tinder a bath, checking for hernias, and wrapping him up with bandages. Honestly, I wasn't even mad about it. We've been seeing each other since December, and I think I might be in love. Update. He eventually saw a doctor. Turns out the lump was just swelling from a torn muscle, not a hernia. Still uncomfortable, but way less scary. The craziest dating story I've got isn't even about an actual date. I made a $100 bet with my sister that she wouldn't be able to get me a Tinder date within a month. Midnight rolled around today, and I'm now $100 richer. She just PayPal'd me the money. Some context? I'm 27. A month ago, my sister and her friends started asking why I never text girls or go out with anyone. I told them the truth. No girl has ever said yes when I asked her out. No one's shown interest. She was like, why not just try Tinder? It's easy to find someone to chat with. I laughed and said, on dating apps, I'm basically a background NPC. She doubled down. Give me a month. I'll get you decent photos, write a fun profile, and you'll have a date in no time. I said, bet. $100 says you can't do it. I've been trying for years. Everyone laughed, and she took the challenge. She actually did it, made me look semi-presentable in photos, wrote a quirky bio, and put me out there. And then, nothing. A whole month later, not a single date. Today, she FaceTimed me, completely frazzled. She said she had no idea how hard it was just to get matches, let alone responses. Girls would unmatch after I sent a polite message. I could see her frustration bubbling over. Honestly, it was funny watching her finally taste the invisible guy experience. She'll never admit she thinks I'm unattractive, but living it herself shook her a bit. At least now she gets why I don't have a girlfriend. And hey, I got $100 out of it. Easy win. It finally happened. I'm on cloud 9. At 30, I had my very first kiss. I can't stop thinking about it, and I just need to share my new hope. The irony? It happened right after I decided I'd be perfectly fine and even comfortable being single forever. Only when I started focusing on myself, my hobbies, and what I wanted from life did this girl appear, out of nowhere. A bit of context. I used to be super shy as a kid. I'm 162 centimeters, and that didn't help. I buried myself in solo hobbies, music, video games, writing. In college, I thought, screw it, I'm gonna pretend to be confident. I made a ton of friends, got into fashion, polished my humor. People are always surprised to learn that deep down, I'm an introvert with some anxiety. Experience with the opposite sex. At 25, I went on my first date through Tinder, then a couple more dates with other girls. We had great conversations and I still stay friends with one of them. But then, silence. Honestly, my approach to girls I liked was terrible. Most of my friends were female and I was always the friendly guy, never the flirty guy. Rejection had taught my brain that flirting and romance were not for me. I never initiated flirting because what mattered most to me in a partner was that she would be my best friend. Then a month ago, this girl liked me on Hinge. I wasn't even looking for anyone, but she seemed cute, so I liked back. Fast forward through long chats, shared interests, and here we are, meeting for the first time. At first, I wasn't physically drawn to her, but we had fun. By the second and third dates, she grew more beautiful to me. By the fourth date, I finally got the courage to kiss her. For the first three, I had held back, too used to rejection to believe anyone could like me back. We were sitting by a moonlit fountain, she was talking nonstop, I was quiet, and then it hit me. Does she expect me to make the first move? I asked, can I kiss you now? And I remembered all the past rejections, the hands that pulled away, the tall, handsome guys I liked, the doubts from my mom, all those years of thinking no one would ever want to kiss me. She said yes. We were both hilariously bad at kissing at first. Practice makes perfect, lol. Update, a few weeks later, we're officially a couple, and we've definitely leveled up. We're super happy and in it for the long haul.